Join me as I take on the challenge of waking up to my best life starting today. Let's see what changes I can make and how far I can go. But before we even begin this journey, I want you to pause and ask yourself, are you really living your best life? Or are you simply existing day after day without purpose? Studies show that nearly 80% of people around the world report feeling unfulfilled with their lives. 8 out of 10 wake up every morning feeling like something is missing. They go to jobs they don't love, and here's the hard truth. Life doesn't wait for you to figure it out. Time is passing whether you decide to take action or not. Every single day is either a step toward the life you want or another day wasted on the life you don't. That's why this moment, right now, matters so much. Your best life isn't going to magically show up at your door. It won't come as a lottery ticket or a sudden stroke of luck. Your best life is something you create through awareness, through intention, and through action. It begins when you make the decision to stop being comfortable with mediocrity. I want you to imagine something. If you continue living exactly as you are right now for the next 5 years, what will your life look like? Will you be proud of it, or will you regret not starting sooner? That vision, whether exciting or frightening, should tell you exactly what needs to change. The reality is, deep inside, we all know what our best life could look like. Maybe it's more freedom. Maybe it's chasing a dream. Maybe it's having better health, stronger relationships, or a career that lights you up instead of draining you. The question is not what your best life looks like, but when you'll finally wake up and decide to go after it. So today, I'm inviting you, not just to listen, but to truly wake up, to stop waiting for permission, to stop waiting for the right time, to stop playing small when you know you were meant for more, because your best life won't happen by accident. It starts the moment you say, enough is enough. My best life begins now. Living your best life isn't about money, cars, or luxury vacations. Those things may look impressive on the surface, but they don't define fulfillment. Your best life is about waking up every single morning with energy, purpose, and excitement for the day ahead. It's about feeling alive, knowing you are becoming the best version of yourself. That's something no material possession can give you. It comes from within. Too many people believe that their best life is somewhere in the future, waiting for them to earn more money, to meet the right person, or to finally catch a lucky break. But the truth is, your best life doesn't begin with external changes. It begins with you. It starts with your choices, your perspective, and your willingness to grow. Waking up to your best life requires self-awareness. You have to look in the mirror and be brutally honest with yourself. Are you proud of the way you are living right now? Do your daily habits align with your dreams? Or are you simply moving through the motions, waiting for something outside of your control to change? That honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Most people don't stop to reflect. They keep themselves busy, distracting their minds so they don't have to face the emptiness they feel inside. But when you take even a few quiet moments to reflect, you'll discover where you've been holding yourself back. And awareness is the first step to transformation. Your best life is not built overnight. It doesn't come from a single big decision. It's shaped by the small, intentional choices you make every single day. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, courage over fear, growth over comfort, you're building the foundation for the life you want. That's the difference between drifting through life and living it with purpose. The beautiful thing is, you don't need to be perfect to live your best life. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to be committed to becoming better than you were yesterday. That's it. One step, one choice, one action at a time. Progress, not perfection, is the real path to fulfillment. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive. Maybe it was when you achieved a goal you thought was impossible. Maybe it was when you pushed yourself beyond your limits and surprised yourself with your strength. Or maybe it was when you spent time with people who lifted your spirit. Those moments are glimpses of your best life. They show you what's possible if you live intentionally. So the introduction to this journey is simple. Your best life is not something you wait for. It's something you wake up to. It's already within your reach, but you have to decide to pursue it. The choice is yours. Will you keep living the way you always have, or will you step forward into the life you know you're capable of living? If living our best life is possible, then why don't most people achieve it? The truth is, life is filled with invisible walls that stop us before we even begin. For some, it's the fear of failure, the voice that whispers, "What if you try and it doesn't work?" For others, it's the fear of judgment, the worry that people will laugh, criticize, or doubt them. And for many, it's simply comfort. Comfort feels safe, but it's also a silent trap. Fear is the #1 dream killer. How many times have you had a great idea, a burning desire, or a vision for your life, only to talk yourself out of it? You convince yourself it's too risky, too difficult, or not the right time. And so the dream fades before it even has the chance to breathe. Most people don't fail because they tried and lost. They fail because they never tried at all. Complacency is another silent enemy. It's easy to get used to just enough. Just enough money to survive. Just enough energy to get through the week. Just enough happiness to stop you from completely breaking down. But just enough isn't your best life. It's settling. And when you settle long enough, you start to believe that's all you're capable of. Then there's the negative mindset, the loop that plays in your head like a broken record. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough. I don't deserve more. People like me don't succeed." These aren't just thoughts. They're chains, and the more you repeat them, the tighter they grip. The sad part is, most people live their entire lives without realizing that the prison they're in is one they built themselves. The environment you live in can also hold you back. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, criticize, or discourage you, it's almost impossible to grow. You cannot plant a seed in toxic soil and expect it to flourish. That's why so many dreams die. Not because the dreamer lacked potential, but because they stayed in an environment that poisoned their spirit. Another huge barrier is procrastination. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow, next week, or when the time is right. But the perfect time never comes. Every day you delay is another day wasted. And slowly, without realizing it, you've spent years waiting for the right moment that never arrives. One day you wake up and wonder where all that time went. And let's not forget comparison. We scroll through social media and see highlight reels of other people's lives. We start believing that unless our life looks like theirs, we're not good enough. Comparison steals joy, blinds you to your own blessings, and convinces you that your unique path isn't worth walking. It's one of the fastest ways to lose sight of your best life. All these barriers, fear, complacency, negative thoughts, toxic environments, procrastination, comparison, pile up like heavy weights on your shoulders. No wonder so many people feel stuck, unmotivated, and unfulfilled. But here's the truth. These obstacles are not permanent walls. They're just illusions of the mind. And the moment you decide to confront them, they begin to crumble. The first step in waking up to your best life is awareness. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Most people avoid looking too closely at their lives because deep down, they know they're not where they want to be. But if you don't face the truth, you'll never break free. Sit down and reflect honestly. What makes you feel alive? What drains you? What do you want more of? What needs to go? These questions may feel uncomfortable, but they're the doorway to transformation. Once you have awareness, the next step is clarity. Too many people move through life without clear goals, without direction. They drift wherever life takes them. But drifting doesn't lead you to your best life. It keeps you stuck. So set clear intentions. Write down exactly what you want in your health, relationships, career, and personal growth. Clarity is power. When you know where you're going, you can align your actions to match. With clarity comes the need for action. Small, consistent steps are far more powerful than waiting for one big breakthrough. Want better health? Start with drinking more water, eating cleaner meals, moving your body daily. Want a stronger mindset? Begin with 5 minutes of gratitude every morning. Want better finances? Track your spending and learn to invest wisely. Success doesn't come from massive leaps. It comes from steady steps taken every day. Mindset is another pillar of your best life. You must learn to reprogram the way you think. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," replace it with, "I will find a way." Every time fear whispers, "What if you fail?" respond with, "What if I succeed?" This isn't about blind positivity. It's about shifting your perspective so that you see possibilities instead of limitations. Equally important is embracing change. Too many people resist it, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer serves them. But change is the only way to grow. Your best life will require you to leave behind old habits, old environments, and sometimes even old relationships. That's not easy, but it's necessary. Every version of you that grows requires you to let go of the version that no longer fits. Gratitude is another powerful practice that can transform your life instantly. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. When you wake up each day and list 3 things you're grateful for, you train your brain to look for the good. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your struggles. It means finding light, even in the darkness. And that light fuels your strength to keep moving forward. Another strategy is surrounding yourself with the right people. You cannot create your best life while surrounded by those who doubt, discourage, or drain you. Seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Your circle is either your cage or your wings, and the people you allow close to you will determine how high you fly. Finally, remember to measure progress, not perfection. Too many people quit because they don't see instant results. But your best life is built brick by brick. Every small choice, choosing discipline over comfort, courage over fear, growth over stagnation, adds up. One day, you'll look back and realize you've built a completely different reality. Not because of one giant leap, but because of thousands of small steps that mattered. I want to share a story with you. A close friend of mine spent years working in a job that drained every ounce of his energy. He hated Mondays, dreaded mornings, and lived only for weekends. Every time we talked, he would say the same thing. "I know I was meant for more, but I just can't take the risk." His fear of failure and his comfort in routine kept him trapped in a cycle he secretly despised. After work, he dedicated an hour each evening to learning new skills in the field he actually loved. He began networking with people who inspired him, people who were already living the kind of life he dreamed about. Slowly, he built momentum. The shift didn't happen instantly, but it did happen. Within a year, he had developed enough confidence and skill to transition into a new career, one that not only paid him more, but also filled him with purpose. The fear that once held him back was still there, but he learned to act despite it. And that decision changed everything. What I saw in his journey was proof of a powerful truth. Your best life doesn't require giant leaps. It requires a single brave choice, repeated daily. One step toward growth. One decision to keep going when fear screams at you to stop. One refusal to settle for less than you deserve. That's how transformation begins. His story is not unique. It's just an example of what happens when someone decides to wake up and stop sleepwalking through life. Every single one of us has that same power. It's not reserved for the lucky few or the chosen ones. It belongs to anyone willing to break free from fear, step into discomfort, and take action. Think about it. What's one area of your life right now that feels like his old job? Where do you feel stuck, drained, or uninspired? That's your signal. That's the part of your life calling out for change. The longer you ignore it, the heavier it becomes. But the moment you face it with courage, you open the door to transformation. The climax of this message is simple. Real change is possible, but it requires you to wake up. It requires you to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start moving with what you have. Your best life isn't some distant dream. It's built from the actions you take today. And if my friend could turn his dread into purpose, then so can you. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, one truth becomes crystal clear. Your best life is not out of reach. It's not a distant dream that only a few chosen people get to live. It's within you right now, waiting for you to wake up and claim it. The only thing standing between you and that life is the decision to start. We've seen how awareness is the foundation. Without it, you'll keep repeating the same patterns, stuck in cycles that don't serve you. But once you become aware, truly aware, you can no longer ignore the gap between the life you have and the life you want. That awareness demands action. We've talked about the barriers: fear, complacency, procrastination, toxic environments, negative mindsets, and the endless trap of comparison. These are the enemies of your best life. But the good news is, they only have as much power as you give them. The moment you choose courage over fear, growth over comfort, and discipline over excuses, their grit begins to weaken. We've also explored the steps: clarity of vision, small consistent habits, the power of gratitude, the importance of mindset, and surrounding yourself with people who fuel your fire instead of putting it out. These aren't theories. They are practical, actionable choices you can begin making today. And we saw what happens when those choices are put into action. My friend's story proved that transformation isn't about luck or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about waking up to the life you know you deserve and moving toward it, step by step, no matter how scared you feel. This is the essence of living your best life. Not perfection, but progress. Not waiting, but acting. Not settling, but striving. Your best life doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It only needs to feel true to you. It's about aligning who you are with who you want to become. Think about it. What would happen if you stopped making excuses and started taking even one small action every day toward your best life? Imagine how different things could look in a year, or even in 6 months. That's the power of momentum. That's the power of waking up. So here's the summary of this entire journey. Your best life begins the moment you decide you're worthy of it. The barriers are real, but they're not unbeatable. The steps are simple, but they require courage. And the rewards, the joy, the freedom, the fulfillment are worth every ounce of effort. You don't need to wait another day. The time is now. Now that we've walked through this journey together, I don't want you to just sit back and move on with your day. I want you to take action right here, right now. Because the gap between inspiration and transformation is action. If you stop at just listening, nothing changes. But if you move, even in a small way, your best life begins unfolding immediately. The first action I want you to take is reflection. Ask yourself, what does living my best life truly mean to me? Don't copy someone else's answer. Don't let social media tell you what it should look like. Define it for yourself. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's growth. Write it down and keep it in front of you every single day. The second action is courage. Courage doesn't mean you won't feel afraid. It means you'll act even while fear is present. So choose one area of your life where you feel stuck and commit to taking one small step forward today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because momentum is built one step at a time. The third action is engagement. I want you to share your definition of your best life in the comments below. Why? Because your words might be the spark someone else desperately needs. The fifth action is accountability. Don't just set intentions in your head, make them real. Tell a friend, write it on paper, or share it publicly. Accountability transforms vague wishes into solid commitments. When you put your goals out into the world, you give yourself the pressure you need to follow through. The sixth action is persistence. There will be days when you feel motivated and days when you don't. But your best life isn't built on feelings. It's built on consistency. Keep showing up. Keep taking steps. Keep reminding yourself why you started. Remember, a single step repeated every day can move mountains over time. Finally, I want to remind you of this. Your best life is not waiting for you somewhere in the future. It's not a distant reward. It starts now, in the choices you make today. This very moment could be the turning point, the day you look back on and say, that's when everything began to change. But only if you choose to act. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just listen. Do. Define your best life. Share it in the comments. Take one step toward it today. And commit to never going back to sleepwalking through your days. Because your best life is calling. And it's time to wake up and answer.